Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Success Life Live. And I'm Eric Reed, and I am your coach. And I'm so glad you jumped in for today's Success Life Live, whether it's here on Facebook or in the podcast or in the YouTube play. I want to remind you right at the top, as you're coming in, remember that Jill Ann Anderson is going to be our Fun Friend Friday, and she's said the other day, I'd love to drop in early. I'd love to drop in throughout the week and give them some ideas, since we're going to be talking about building a life and building a purpose-driven business and a business with passion. Let's not save all of the meat until Friday. Let's go ahead and start unpacking it early. So I'm going to be bringing her in just a few minutes for a quick 5-minute drop in. What she wants to do is get you set up so when the conversation starts on Friday, you guys are already in the flow. I think it's an amazing idea. I'm so grateful for it. So I'll bring Jill in just a minute. And then meantime, remember today is Tuesday, so you'll be getting your Success Life weekly newsletter if you subscribed. And this one, we're really talking about making a digital impact as part of the Jill week. We're just going to call this Jill week. And then Wednesday is Q&A Wednesday, and like I mentioned, Friday is Fun Friend Friday. And Jill's going to pop in. She's going to give us a few minutes at the top of the hour here. I know we're right up on it, to help us prepare for building that business of purpose and passion and a lifestyle business and creating online marketing and content and development and all of that good stuff for Friday. We've got a homework assignment starting today from her. And then we're going to stick around for a minute, and I want to talk to you about happiness and what happened with my daughter the other day. So you guys got a busy morning. Pull out those notebooks, pull out those pen and pads. Like I said, if you're listening to it on the podcast replay, hit the follow, subscribe, and like. And take a moment and share it out why I find Jill in the room. I'm doing it now, Jill. You should be getting a request. We didn't even have time to dress rehearse last night, so I hope we're not wearing matching outfits. Are we in matching outfits?
I'm in coral.
I'm not.
How are you this morning?
I am great. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are.
Okay, so I am Jill Ann Anderson. I am the marketing director for the John Maxwell Team.
Yeah, we're getting feedback. Do you have headphones in?
I do. They're in my ears. Are they not hooked up? Okay, let me try again.
I'll just
do this over here.
Yeah.
Wait.
Here, let's do that. I'll bring her back on in just a minute. She's going to connect her headphones. By the way, folks, if you do a Facebook Live, because there's typically a 3 to 4 second delay, you always want your guests to be on headphones because they're getting the delay, not the host. And that's when you get the feedback. So I'll wait for Jill just to pop in and say I'm connected. Then we'll bring her back on and restart. So and I'll start the lesson while we're waiting. So the other day I was at school with my daughter, and it was the end of school party. So they've got 2 more days, but today was the parent invite, or yesterday was, and it was a luau, and it was crazy. Anybody that's had a kid in school knows what it's like. The kids are out of control. The teacher's just trying to kill the hour to get them back on the bus before they go completely crazy. And I looked down at her. I said, "Are you happy?" And she said, "I don't know, tell me." I was like, oh, wait a minute. There's a lesson to be taught in that. And I was like, what do you mean, I don't know, tell me? And I said, no, are you happy? Because she was laughing and giggling and being her crazy, normal, happy self. And I said, no, are you happy? And she kept saying, I don't know, you tell me. And I thought, oh, there's a coaching lesson in that. Let me get Jill back and see if she's set up and ready. I think she just walked back in. And then we'll finish the lesson on, I don't know, you tell me. Da, 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 da. I see her being added. She's being added. She's coming. She's coming. She's connecting. I know, don't you love the build-up, you guys? Da, 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 da. There we go. I think I see you.
How are
I
we
hear you.
now?
I see you. We are
Yay!
perfect. I'm just turning up my volume now. There we go. See,
Just love
don't you love
technology,
live
right?
TV? It's like, okay, let's dance and shuffle. Thank God I took
Exactly.
all those tap dancing lessons. So one more time, if you would tell everybody who you are, and I so appreciate you doing this as part of the up and coming Fun Friend Friday, where we're going to talk about building your business from your passion and your purpose, not somebody
Exactly.
else's
So
playbook.
again, I am Jill Ann Anderson, and I am the Director of Marketing for the John Maxwell Team. We are the John Maxwell Team, if you're not familiar, is a global personal and professional growth business. And I am so happy to be a part of the team. I hail from originally Hudson, Wisconsin, and then moved to St. Paul, Minnesota. And then April 1st, I took on the helm of marketing director and moved down to Jupiter, Florida. And I literally have a view of the ocean right behind me there through my patio doors. You can't see it very well, but literally like probably 100 feet out that door is the ocean. So it's an amazing heavenly place.
Isn't it?
It's magical.
Being a kid from Minnesota, as soon as we get by something that's not a lake, it's like,
Exactly.
oh, this is so much better. They lied to us that lakes were just little mini oceans. So before you start, do you have permission to say what the
I do
marketing
not.
budget is for your department? It's safe to say
It's a
at least
lot.
six figures.
And here's what I love about our president, Paul Martinelli.
And I want to bring that up just to point out that we're not talking about somebody that's a marketing director that has a budget of $500 in which Facebook ads should be placed. She's talking about how do I create a business that has a global impact across multiple platforms with cohesion and depth that serves across multiple platforms
Yes.
internationally. So
And
that's why we're
here's the
tuning
key
in,
with
folks.
that. I love how you put that, Eric, is that, before I took over in this current role, I had my own personal and professional growth business. And so I have a long background in sales and marketing and then moved into psychology. I was a forensic psychological examiner for a while. Yeah, so that actually comes in handy when trying to work with people who are feeling stuck in life. And so out of that, I discovered really what I call, when I work with my clients, I have three key best practices, so to speak, that every single successful person in life and business. So I always focus on life and business because so many people start a business and they give up on their life because they're so focused on their business that then they go, oh crap, like my family's falling apart, or I don't have a relationship with my significant other. And so now I need to stop working on my business and go be in my life again. I work with people
Yeah.
all
So
of these principles apply to both. And so, are you ready for them?
So you guys, so remember, she's going to be a fun friend guest. We're going to expand out this idea of building a business based on your purpose and passion, not somebody else's playbook. Today, we're doing a little drop-in homework, something for you to think about. So when we arrive at Friday, you're not trying to catch up. You actually can get out your playbook
Exactly.
and build your own. So homework assignment
I
number
want you to
one.
write down the three best practices of successful entrepreneurship and doing life. That's what I call it, doing life. Okay. Those three best practices are mindset, message, and marketing. Message,
Mindset, marketing,
and marketing.
So the three best practices for both life and business, or the bridge between, is mindset, market message
And you might think
marketing.
that, well, what the heck does my life have to do with message and marketing? Well, I'm going to take you to when you were dating. And if you are dating, or if you're not and you're now with somebody special, great. But I certainly don't think that when you went on a first date with someone, that you, if you went to dinner, that you sat across from the table from them and said, will you marry me? No, you didn't. And then when you did, eventually, if that dating relationship worked out, you wooed them. You showed them the best part of yourself. And then you created this deeper relationship that made each one of you fall deeper in love. And then every now and then some little, challenge areas would creep up, and you'd go, well, yeah, okay, we have something to work on. That is exactly the life of a business. But they go, oh, well, I'm going to send out an email and I'm going to get 50 million people to respond and marry me right away. We have to come from the mindset from an entrepreneur that whenever you craft a message and you market it, you are creating a relationship, number one, and you don't ask someone to marry you on the first date.
So what I hear our homework is, and you can correct me because I'm getting it the first time too, is that we should take between now and Friday and look at what is our mindset about our business and about our life. And you can break your life down if you want to: family, faith, finance, fitness, if you want to do one for each, or overall. What is the current message of my business and what is the current message of my life? And then how am I marketing my business?
Exactly.
And how am I marketing my life?
And yes, that is key. So it's designing your life and not just simply drifting through it. And I know a lot of people watching have already heard that, but truly the reason why I'm repeating it is that is why it's so important to get those 3 steps completed and working. And because that is what you're going to make decisions on in your life and your business, so you are designing it and not feeling like you're getting pulled in a million different directions. So,
and so I love that, because when I sort of assigned you the topic, which I kind of do, it was like living your purpose-based business from your playbook, not somebody else's. So often as entrepreneurs, out of fear and doubt and insecurity, we pick up somebody else's business plan, playbook, 12 steps to running the most successful card company. And we dive into it and we lose ourselves and we lose our life. So I love the idea that you're pulling us back into ourselves to build the business. And John Wayne, we just call him John Wayne.
Okay.
It just sounds so good to say John Wayne is here. Said that he saw a bridge or a link between dating versus marriage already in his business. That he needs to move his business from dating into a more stable, long-term relationship.
And I'm going to give you a hint of what does that for the entrepreneur is content marketing. So I want you to view marketing as opening up and introducing the dating relationship, and content marketing maintains the relationship.
Oh, you guys.
Oh, it's going to be bomb diggity, Eric.
I told you when we set this up, I was going to be geeking out because I love marketing. I love working with entrepreneurs. I love branding and messaging and thinking into all of that. And anybody that brings it to me, I just like gobble it up like Cheerios.
So the first one because I have 3 magic questions that I ask. Okay. And because our days are like numbered here, and then Friday we're going to actually work all 3 together, I want now everybody to write down our first question and spend the day thinking into this. And the question is from John Maxwell's Intentional Living book. This is truly how I do this with my clients. The first question I ask them, what makes you cry?
And I love that book, and I actually have a couple copies, so maybe on Friday we'll have to
Oh, I would love that.
randomly pick some people
Yeah.
to give some signed copies out to. When I heard that question, it was like, what makes me cry? And the deep level is asking yourself why and when was the first time I became aware of this?
And
So like when I say, what makes you cry? And you're like, you know, birds chirping in my background. Why? And when was the first time that came? When is the first time I can remember that? Because often the depth of the experience.
yes, so we
adds
know
to
that,
the
again,
awareness.
let's go back to number one, mindset, that the higher the level of emotion that we experienced in an event lies deeper within our subconscious mind that we will automatically be operating from. So if we can uncover an amazing emotional experience that triggers us into an automatic thought, feeling, and action process, our business and life will simply flow.
And that's where our friend Paul Martinelli would say something about Think and Grow Rich and the power of transmutation
and blah, blah,
gender
blah,
and
right? All of that
energy and
stuff.
all of that.
And I'm telling you, it is whittled down to one question in the Intentional Living book. It is, what makes you cry? What sparks that deep emotion within you? Here's an example. Do I have time to share an example? Okay,
You have
so
as
what
much
makes
time
you
as you
cry?
want.
So I
I'm
mentioned I had
respecting
this
you.
long career of I've been an entrepreneur for a lot of years of my life, and I've also been in marketing and sales for the most of my life, okay? And about now it's close to 17 years ago, I was working as a circulation marketing director for a group of 28 newspapers in my community. And I got a phone call from our publisher who told me that there was a murder that happened in the funeral home in our town. Well, my brother-in-law, here's the emotion, right? I think Greg Storch commented how I get to stuff right away. So here's what I mean by the impact is the funeral home in town is owned by my brother-in-law's family. Oh yeah. So I'm on the phone with the publisher of the newspaper asking me what's going on at my brother-in-law's funeral home because there was what they thought at the time was a murder-suicide. The depth of the impact of that event, what eventually happened and what we discovered was it wasn't a murder-suicide. My brother-in-law's brother was murdered along with his intern by the local Catholic priest. It made national news. We were national headline. Exactly. You know, it was an absolutely horrific experience unlike anything I've ever been through. The reason why I bring this up is all along I'm running a business, I'm working in marketing and sales, and that one event triggered deep within me a desire that and dream that I had kept covered up within me, which is to work in the police field. Like many years ago, I wanted to be a police officer. And I wanted to join the military. And I went to the recruiter's office when I was 19 years old with my baby on my lap. And he said, "You're a mother, go home. You can't join the military. You have a child." So granted, that child now is 33 years old. So that, you know, it was a different time. So that dream was sparked within me. And I went and I completed that event, caused me to complete my bachelor's in criminal justice administration and my master's in forensic psychology. And I got started on my PsyD in forensic psychology. And I began to use that to get into the minds of criminals because I couldn't imagine what a person, let alone a Catholic priest, was thinking, right? What was their mindset to cause or take action on something? And you know, this, we're obsessed with shows like CSI and all that kind of stuff because we truly are curious people about what makes people do the things that they do, right? How many of the people?
Oh, totally. I always like, you know, Game of Thrones ending. There's so much on the web, but I was like, wait, that doesn't fit the character development.
So
that's been going on
that emotional incident took me down a path that everybody in my life was going, okay, Jill, you are freaking crazy. And I might have been crazy, but you know what? The time that I put into that work and going into correctional facilities and helping criminals understand themselves better is what eventually got me where I am today.
And so what I want to sort of recap, if I may, the reason that story has relevance to our marketing is if you simply answer the question, what makes me cry, and you just write the first level, that's often where you buy into a business that doesn't connect to your heart, your purpose, and your passion. And you wake up and you're back in a job and you're self-employed and you're stuck in the muck of creating an entrepreneurship life. If you take the time and say, why does that make me cry? When did I experience that emotion? Like really push down into it and spend real quality time with that question, you connect with an emotion that will reveal the beginning of a purpose-based passion business that you can start to say, you know what? I would die on the hill for this. I would not turn back for this because I've now connected the emotion to the thought instead of just operated out of the thought. And so when you are able to say, there's more to being a forensic psychologist because this personal event is charged with emotion. Now, how can I utilize that emotion, that feeling, that energy to propel me to answer the questions that I always have?
And then the follow-up to that is when you are sitting down and writing what makes you cry, it's applying it to the work that you know you are called to do. And here's what I mean. In my work now today in the John Maxwell team, I don't work with criminals. I mean, well, I might. I mean, no, I don't. I'm just kidding.
Well,
you know, who's normal, right? Nobody's normal.
We'll leave that
Nobody
for
is normal.
Friday.
What I mean is, I take my work that I did and that passion that I have to serve people. What makes me cry is when people don't understand why they do the things they do. So see, I said that about criminals. I started saying from the conversation with, well, I went into this because I wanted to understand why that priest did what he did. Why do criminals behave the way they do? Now I can apply that same thing to the true passion and purpose in my life's work is to help people and business owners discover why they do the things that they do. Most often they come to me going, I'm stuck, help. I feel like I'm going in a million different directions, or I don't know what I'm doing. And stop with the mindset. Let's figure out what makes you cry, what sparks that emotion, because that is what motivates you intrinsically to do what you're called to do.
And that's where you begin to develop what they call a lifestyle branded business or a lifestyle based business, because though the vehicle may change, today you're on a motorcycle, tomorrow a car, the next day a boat, a train, a plane, though the vehicle through that business may change or that lifestyle business may change, the fuel in the tank, as you said, understanding why people do what they do, remains consistent. You're like, I used to do this with criminals, and then I did it with individuals in a personal based business. Now in marketing, I'm testing why people respond to ads, to all marketing the way that they do, and what is the message that I'm creating as a marketer, entrepreneur, business director that is touching that emotion so that they can then use that emotion so it becomes this cycle pattern that now her pattern of touching people and understanding them allows them to understand themselves, which fuels them to begin to build what she wants everybody to have, is a life based
And
on purpose and
making
passion.
money doing it.
That, well, we gotta. I use
No,
the
no,
word
no.
business, but you're
I
better.
think we
You
need
said
to get
making
over
money
this
doing
fear of our goal as an entrepreneur is to also make lots of money. Let's make lots of money doing this because that means we're touching lots of lives.
it. It's funny because your boss Paul once said, "I can be building a church in like Africa and a school in South America and feeding a family in, Europe all at the same time because I
Yes,
went after the money, not after. And he's like, I can be in more places doing more things because I have more money. Not because I have more money do I do more things, but because I want to do more things, I need more money
exactly.
to be in more places. And I love, and I'm really going to challenge us. We've got a lot of homework, and this is only Tuesday. Um, but I want you guys, and it's an awareness that I just had, so I'm making you guys have to do it too, is stop saying I'm in a business, because we sort of use that to define our schedule, not our goal. I am in a money-making business. I am building a business that will create wealth. Start attaching the dollar sign to that word business. And if you just want to write out the word business and change the S's to dollar signs so you start understanding that being as an entrepreneur and having your own business isn't about what you do during the day, but about what you want to create at the end of the day, which is money, so you can make a bigger impact based on your
And that
influence
is
into the
exactly what we're going
world.
to talk about on Friday. Once we've completed our 3 questions, the end goal is that we're making money doing it. And what does it take to do that?
I just, I'm gonna have to get my car and
I
drive
would
to
love
Jupiter.
that. Come on
Um,
down.
it would take that
Oh,
long
it
for me to
is,
pick up and
yeah.
move to a beach. I'm not sure if my family
Well,
would
that's a
be in the car
problem.
with me, but we'll see. I don't know. I can commute. Um, so remember, you guys, mindset, message, marketing. What is the mindset, message, marketing of your business and your life? And what does it look like now versus what you believe it needs to look like as you move towards developing your own business and your own life with purpose, passion, and from your own playbook? What makes you cry? And as I've sort of added to it, why does it make you cry? And when did you really first feel that? Like, go back, close your mind, look into yourself and be like, man, now I know why that makes me cry. Because sometimes we try and rush through the homework assignment to say we did it. And the first level thing is okay. But if we breathe in and go, wow, why does that make me cry? Often the external becomes internal. Like, well, I can't stand to see any child not being fed. External. I remember the fear I had as a
That's a
child of
great
not
point.
having dinner on the table. Those are two different emotions. And if you can find that external to internal and you focus on the internal, you'll be
And
better set
I
up for Friday.
encourage my clients when I work with them to spend time and have a tablet, or if they're a typer, if they're more of a technical person, type out, just let those stream of thoughts go. You carry that pad and paper with you and write it out. It's a stream of thought, it's a download, whatever it is, write that down. And truly, if I'm really challenging my clients, I say don't call me for our next session or the next step until you have a full page of words, a full page of thoughts on that one question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have journals for everything. And often when I'm in that, I'll
Yep.
just randomly write words. And then all of a sudden, as I'm looking at them, I'll circle one. And then all of a sudden, I'm like tearing through the page, circling one. Then I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be.
Okay.
So you guys got some homework for today. I mean, look, we're taking advantage of the marketing director for the John Maxwell team, who has to market internationally, cross-culturally, cross-gender, cross-platforms. There's a little bit of value that we can steal from her.
And I can't wait to add value to everybody.
You already have. I'm like, shoot, I've got a whole afternoon I got to rewrite to get my homework done before tomorrow.
I am.
So you're going to pop in again tomorrow.
Should we talk about what color shirt we're going to wear?
I will see you tomorrow. We'll just see if one day we randomly end up in the same, but I don't have coral. So
all right, bye.
So who knows? Maybe I'll wear like one of those cheesehead
Green Bay
shirts.
Packer. Woo! Thanks. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, dear. I'll talk to you later today. So everybody, I appreciate her jumping in. Like I said, we're doing this kind of because there's so many questions around marketing and social marketing and how do I develop a brand-based business and how do I develop a lifestyle-based business? And I've been following other people's playbook and it doesn't seem to be working. And Jill and I were having so much geeking out fun in marketing and marketing ideas and creating that we just thought we'd just start early on Fun Friend Friday. So to finish up the morning lesson real quickly on my daughter and her, and when I asked her, are you happy? And she said, I don't know. And she looked towards me for the answer. As I pointed out in the early description, so often we go through life thinking other things, other events, other people can determine our happiness, determine our joy. We look at them and say, am I doing a good job? Am I a good spouse? Am I a good employee? Did I achieve the right grades? Am I in the right place? All of these external things we try and calibrate into our happiness, when your happiness is determined solely by you and the choice to be happy. Not by the events, not by the circumstances, not by the income, not by the things around you, but by your choice to reflect and say, in this moment, I will be happy. Regardless of the circumstances, happiness lives within me and I don't need other things and people to make it. I can do it on my own. So I appreciate you guys jumping in and joining me for this morning Success Life Live. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, for another Success Life Live. We're probably going to have an abbreviated Q&A because Jill will be jumping in with some more homework assignments. But remember that our questions are, what is my mindset? What is my message? What is my marketing around my business and around my life? And then what makes me cry? And as I said, when I went through John Maxwell's Intentional Living book, one of the things that I found value in that question was going down one more level and saying, why does it make me cry? And when did I begin to feel that feeling about that event? What internally made that connection to make me cry? Because, you know, like New Orleans Saints losing a football game does not make me cry. But for somebody else it may, and why? And was there a personal experience involved in your life that made that moment more memorable, more important, more connected to you that wasn't external? And so we're going to pack that and then pack tomorrow's and then pack Thursdays and then do some more marketing on Friday with Jill. So in the meantime, get your homework done. Don't show up without it. And if I can help you or add value to you in any way, reach out and touch me, tag me, let me know. Eric@ericgreed.com. So till tomorrow, go out and live your life with success. It is yours and you are fully worthy of it, my friends, fully worthy. Bye-bye.